I will, with all of my might and all of my strength, rise up and bring some of you with me, creating a new and better reality, one where I can rest, one where I can once again be gentle and peaceful. This is an energy which is rising, and you will see her wrath. There will be moments where you will be asking forgiveness for that which has occurred upon the earth plane, for that where souls have been buried after murderous and calamitous situations, where carcasses have been dumped. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Michelle Robinson. I'm a psychic medium and a channel to various high vibrational energies, beings, angelics, my God. Seems like the whole cahoots at the moment. And so welcome to anybody that's new. So usually what I do is just close my eyes and tune in. So I normally have an indication of who's going to channel. They're already there. They've already conferred with me in some way. This time I'm preempting the channeling because last Monday, when I was recording another episode or another channeling, I actually go through a process and I put my roots down into the ground and I connect in with Mother Earth. And this is just my grounding or my way of stabilizing. And I've got a whole procedure that I go through. I lift my vibration through the use of light and energy and calling in the angelics, my guides. I run through a process with my chakra and my energy field. So I only operate with light. I have had one incident seeing a reptilian, which was not very friendly. But before that, I was actually told to have, like, it was a very grounding drink. And I couldn't understand why I was told to have this very, like, really earthy grounding drink before doing a channeling. And then it became clear because I didn't go up. It was in a direct awareness of this being. So that's also, I guess, made me realize that the negative aspect of these kind of reptilian beings, they don't operate at high vibrations. So I really needed to come down in my vibrational level to even be aware of this reptilian. And it wasn't a very nice piece of work. I had to be like, I'm not scared of you either. For anyone that saw that, me discussing it on a previous episode. Anyway, in this case, last Monday, when I put my roots down into the ground, I seemed to stay there for a large period of time. And and I was thinking, gosh, this is so unusual for me. And so I thought, okay, well, let's just see what happens and relax. And I got the energy of Mother Gaia. Now, I have to tell you, I was completely shocked. It was ferocious. She was like a force. And I always thought, oh, Mother Nature, she'll be so like tweet, tweet, tweet and la la la. But oh my God, she was like, I almost was taken aback and felt like, oh, I just might just head on up. But I stayed with her and I did channel. I could hear her talking and I channeled her in my mind. But everything was very quick on Monday and I had a lot to do, including some travel. So by the end of the day, I was thinking, God, what did she actually say? But what I had this indication of was her wrath and her rising, and that something was going to be seen. So she felt like that kind of very strong feminine energy, which has a power and strength behind it. So what I thought I might do is see if I can tap into her again and actually do a channeling for her. So that's what I'm going to do. So just give me a moment. So she's letting me know that she is here and I want to let her take over. It'll strengthen just as I start communicating what it is she wants to say. So she's saying that she is an all-powerful being, one that has a force to be reckoned with, one that is not to be messed with, a feminine presence, one which should be respected and even feared. She is able to control winds and tides, and should her wrath or energy rise, then this can be seen and displayed in a manner that is unmistakable for all to see. There is a lot of activity occurring upon the earth plane, activity of which she is not party to, nor has she given or expressed any desire for this to occur. It is that which is burrowing under her skin and affecting, and like an itch that cannot be scratched, one that she is willing and keen to shake off, having had enough of the irritation, of the disruption, of the energetic turmoil that this is creating. This is not a woman to be reckoned with. This is an energy which is rising, and you will see her wrath. There will be moments where you will be asking forgiveness, forgiveness for that which has occurred upon the earth plane, for that where souls have been buried after murderous and calamitous situations, where carcasses have been dumped, where mining created gashes upon the earth, where detonators and explosions are being tested to this very day deep within the crust, that disturbing and creating ripples elsewhere, that which is disturbing the climate, the nature, the birds which also rest upon her home, the animals, insects, other beings which are within her soil. There are many. The human taking liberties with her, these will be registered with her, and the treacheries are being noted. The woodcutter cutting the ancient oaks, the old trees, that which contains keys to civilizations past and has a huge energetic presence, the felling of these majestic beauties, the loss of home and habitat for all, the decrease in wildlife, the trespassing upon her forests, the crossover of civilizations to that which should be allowed to remain and roam free, unaffected by human influence and interference. The ancient nations which have been turned to, it's like getting liquid fire, but I feel it's like alcohol. Like I'm seeing Brazil, some ancient civilizations, some tribal, maybe nations, which are being encroached upon, and now, and I'm seeing the liquid fire. So I feel like this is alcohol, the ruination of something once beautiful and culturally significant. Those which work with Mother Gaia and with nature in a sustainable and beautiful way. Those that walk upon the earth carefully, barefoot, and sharing their energy, not building large skyscrapers into the sky, creating weapons to destroy geographical areas and peoples for political gain. The polluting of the oceans, the loss of habitats for sea creatures, the bleaching of the reefs, the unconcern with which people exploit the seas for their cans of tuna and other such food types. The methodology used to capture some of this food, that which scrapes along the ocean floor, disrupting environments and ecosystems for decades to come. These practices need awareness. Humankind not being as intelligent as they seem, being quite able to place the blinkers upon their eyes, to walk in a straight line, that which takes them to the edge of a cliff. Like lemmings, they will lead themselves to their demise. I feel like the bleaching, the rampaging, the racketeering, the burial sites and secrets, these are the things which will be exposed. I will not sit and allow this to occur. I am shedding my skin. I am rising in my vibration. You will experience this. You will feel this. You will have my wrath, and this will be displayed in shifting times ahead. Oh, I am feminine. I am powerful, and you will watch me roar. There is much which brings me dismay. That of the oil fields, of the reckless use of the fuel which is gathered from my reserves, the gems which are harvested, the conditions which are thrust upon those who are the harvesters, the leaching of chemicals into the soils, the chemicals which are placed through the air. This must give way. We must rise. I will with all of my might and all of my strength. Rise up and bring some of you with me, creating a new and better reality, one where I can rest, one where I can once again be gentle and peaceful, and not feel so vengeful. Use these upcoming events to move you into action, to take a look around you at what is becoming of my beautiful exterior. This is creating a heat within, one of dismay and despair, an irritation which must be itched. I speak through this channel, and I ask you all to have a look at your practices, at the footprint which you leave upon this earth, at the substances which you add into the soil, at your action around improving the climate and the changes which are inevitable, at the levels of pollution, the plastics choking the sea life, the oceans and waterways. This is something which must give way, and yet the choice is made time after time to move with the plastic, the ease, the convenience. Overpopulation creating areas of famine, areas of disease and pestilence. Measures must be taken. This must be taken in hand. There will be an inevitable rise in natural disasters. You can see this as me shifting and moving and waking myself up, preparing for a change, for a movement into something better, something where we will be united, where we can work together in harmony, where our harvest will be abundant, where our air will be clean, where the birds can fly free, not choking from toxic fumes, from genetic mutations wrought upon it by a minority who are residing and existing on this plane. The release of my ire will be seen in a series of volcanic eruptions, that which appear not to be united, but are in fact deeply connected. This is a release. This is part of the shift. This is a phase that must be ridden through. This pains me, my children, to have to bring you this news, to flex my muscle, to demonstrate my ire. So take heed and jump aboard and choose to travel with me to better times ahead. And what I'm seeing is like the separation again of Earth, so into two realities, almost like I'm hearing rebirthing. I'm hearing stealth mode again. Okay, I'm back to the submarines, the laying of charges. I'm hearing Alaska. So what I'm seeing is this is initially perhaps going to be a series of events. So there could be some underwater eruptions, and then I'm seeing what looks like a chain of events. So it's going to be like an incident or an impact, an incident or an impact, an incident or an impact, an incident or an impact. So I'm seeing at least two volcanoes. They seem to be unrelated. They're quite large. These are on the land. So one is Mount Fuji. I'm hearing Mount Vesuvius is the other. There may be another smaller, and then I feel around Alaska is going to be perhaps some underwater volcanoes. This is just what I'm detecting. This is an undercurrent. So there's an undercurrent which is occurring, which is kind of rising from Mother Earth, and then there's an activity. And I'm seeing this like something in space again. So this may be the satellite that Benita was talking about. I'm seeing a beam of energy. This is an energetic trigger. It's like a laser beam of energy. I'm hearing Sputnik, so I think this is just saying like man-made. This is not alien as such. I am hearing shadow government again. I do feel like this is going to have an explosive effect or set off some explosives. And then I feel like there's also an anger from Mother Earth, or a fierceness. I've got this fierceness energy, and where there's just going to be uplifting in areas. So it's almost like something set off, and then there's already shifts going on, and she's precipitating something. So perhaps it's an area of weakness, or one where there's already weaknesses being seen. I'm just hearing this will be explosive and infiltrative and widespread. And the widespread, so maybe some places are going to feel this rumbling, and the widespread is that there's going to be wind spread, like toxic fumes. I don't feel in some areas it's going to be maybe noticeable or able to be detected, but it's there. And this is going to be for a period of a few days. I am seeing like something outside of Earth's atmosphere, but it looks like it's vacuuming it, almost as if there's an assistance with trying to help clear some of these fumes out of the environment. I am seeing hands high-fiving like, wow, that was a good job. And I don't know if it's China, North Korea, I don't know, in cahoots, or I am hearing Ring of Fire, and um, I am seeing that it's to do with the continental shelf or plate with volcanic, creating volcanic activity. There may also be some earthquakes. Feels like quite a big shift. With Fuji again, it's the ash or the fallout or this cloud. There's something around that. Again, I'm getting that this wasn't explosive, so it was a kind of maybe some natural simmering events and then kind of utilizing that weakness or that moment to create a worsening effect. I'm getting kind of August, September again. I was just hearing a bit of September. So the events may be triggered at one point and then just kind of go through that period of time. Again, I'm just getting the importance of having some clean water in storage and just some food, some accessible food for a few days. Not, it doesn't need to be dramatic. Don't need to go and buy all of the toilet paper out of the supermarket. I do feel like there will be some remnants of this Australia, New Zealand in the air. So this is not kind of toxin free, but obviously closer to these areas are going to experience this to a larger degree. So I'm just going back to Mother Gaia. She's saying, I have weathered much. I am no longer young and sprightly. This is like a last ditch attempt to free myself from the travesties occurring upon the earth. I have much assistance during this time. This is a universal operation. This has been planned and executed. This is being executed in a way that most can cope with. There are many who are sensitive, who will be feeling the impact of this rising vibration, of these changing times and tides. And so stay with me and take the ride. This not being such a comfortable one, you can liken it to, I'm seeing like a roller coaster ride where the downhill can feel quite terrifying and yet can also be quite exhilarating. And then we reach the dip where things are gentler and more peaceful. And so for those of you who understand, this time is a necessity. This is a time where I must crack open and demonstrate to you that I am not invincible, that I too require care and nourishment and nurturing, and not to be pillaged as humankind and others have done since, well, for many a millennia. Try to keep up with me. Try to ride and rise with me. We can expect calmer times and shores ahead. Together we can live in harmony, and I look forward to sharing that time and space with you. I bless you and I leave you. Okay, she didn't quite feel quite as vengeful or as scary as the first time, so that wasn't too bad. But there's a little bit more information too about what's the sequence of events. Interestingly, my dad keeps showing me things as well. When I go up to a reading, I go past my dad, say hi on the way up. Now he showed me this string of beads. I knew what he was doing. He was holding them and he was showing me one, and then his hand moved down to the next and next, and I knew this is going to be a sequence of events. One thing triggers another thing, triggers another thing. So he was a geography teacher. And so he was saying that it's going to be quite fascinating and interesting as well to watch and observe. But he did also give me the warning to get a gas mask and to take this seriously. My grandma, she held up a map as well. That's right, because my dad and my grandma sit together. They both work with me. And she held up a world map, and I'm just going to have a look now. It's going to zoom right out. So what I saw was the Pacific, Alaska. Okay. It was like what I saw was the ocean, the Pacific Ocean, and it was like up at 2 o'clock on the Ring of Fire. And I felt like it was around up at that top corner, maybe 1, 2, wasn't around at 3 o'clock. It was more like 1 to 2 o'clock, that there was going to be some activity there. That was what she showed me. So literally up here was like this big ocean piece. So it was up here. So that was, she was pointing at a map. And I was like, I can't quite see. Anyway, I had a reading to do. So I was like, okay. And then I had to keep going. Anyway, they're being very helpful, trying to give me a little bit of information to share with you in different ways that I might take on board. I do have some channel messages, those that I'm not going to put up in the general YouTube. So anyone that's interested in a channeling, which maybe it's required to go behind a paywall, please have a look at my membership. I channeled an episode, and then I'm like, I'm not putting this up. And then I was just taking a break, sitting by the pool, and it was Gabrielle. I was aware of Gabrielle, so I went and spoke with him, and this is what they do for our meeting. They're like, oh, how's it going? What are you up to? They asked what's next, and I said, oh, what do you think? Because I know this is just the opening for them to tell me what they would like me to do next. And so they said, membership. And I'm thinking, well, I've got a membership. And they said, YouTube membership. And then they made me aware that I already had one. They'd already provided one. Now, this was from another benevolent being. So I feel like they're all working together, and I don't have any say, like, okay, do this, and now she won't know what to do with it, and then we'll tell her, do the YouTube membership, and then there we are, we've got it all together. So I'm just literally a worker. I am employed by them, I would say, by now. I feel like I'm just one of their employees doing as I'm asked, and, obviously bringing through these messages for you as well. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and maybe share this material if this is something you think that might be helpful information for others. And other than that, thank you for being here. Thank you for my beautiful, encouraging, generous comments. I really appreciate them. And I really appreciate majority of you on my channel as well. So thank you, and I really look forward to seeing you in the next episode.